Namaste, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, IndigoAngel. My name is Amanda Jane DeMarco, and you can find me on Facebook, Vimeo, YouTube, and Patreon. I've had my YouTube channel for about 2 years now, and I have ventured off into everything you could possibly think of within the spiritual, multidimensional, quantum, celestial realms. And now I am working diligently on developing my Patreon, and so I'm really excited to be able to bring the ascension techniques and the Kathara morphogenetic sciences and miniature video series of lessons that I'm providing, one to assist them with their higher mind development and expansion of consciousness, and really get into it on a level of mechanics, which is very important if you are at that place in your ascension where you are ready to understand quantum mechanics, and when you are ready to understand the energetic structures that are the base foundations to your manifestation templates, what matter is manifesting through. Okay, so it's going to be so much fun. There's so much love involved in this, really, from my heart to yours. And I just wanted to thank you all for your love and support. And today I'm going to be doing, this is actually going to just be an introductory video to these next 3 videos that I'm launching in Bio-Regenesis exclusively on my Patreon, all about the Kathara grid. Okay, so I know that it can seem like a dense subject, especially if you're just not there as far as like your ascension, like you're just not ready for this information, because it takes time to integrate this information. A lot of this learning requires you to commit to learning an entirely new vocabulary, which takes time in itself. So I understand why this material, why this way of being, where you're speaking through light intelligence, okay? Because when you actually step up in vocabulary and start using terms like morphogenetic science, and start using terms like Particle scalar waves, and all of these more sciencey words for explaining the spiritual structures of energy, it can be overwhelming, and it can be like, you know, I'm just not going to go there because that is just really far off the deep end as far as what I'm ready to integrate. And you'll find that a lot of people really aren't ready to integrate this information until they've gone through several rounds of ascension, and you are to a point where your ability to perceive subtlety, energy, quantum nature is so heightened, it's so sharpened, that now you're ready for the explanations to what you're experiencing. So this is kind of far down in the depth of the journey, and you know, it's for those who are ready. This is for those who are ready to come into this realm. But yes, I would love to be a part of this journey with you and discovering more of yourself and the processes of identifying these higher level identities, okay? Because you're setting the Kathara. Essentially, you are getting the tools to regenerate the natural electro-tonal programs of the holographic template, as the Kathara actually gives quantum structure and quantum mechanics to the functions and flow of matter and manifestation coming into fruition, coming into reality. And you're actually going into that space within, and you're clearing those templates, you're reprogramming those templates from understanding the actual structures of the energy itself and its functioning, because there are many multidimensional functioning, going from antiparticle to particle, going from antimatter to matter, going through all foundational dimensions of creation, and actually experiencing that through each one of those dimensions. There's so much mechanics that go into this, into integrating more of that higher identity level, that this information becomes necessary once consciousness goes quantum cognition, because you are essentially breaking down primal fundamental phases and layers of ascension and really understanding it. And, you know, I'm just really excited to be able to offer this, as I feel this has been a long time coming even for me as far as the depth of my studies and, you know, learning more about morphogenetic sciences, Kaylanta morphogenetic sciences, and being able to help others with this fundamental understanding that really combines the core essence of science and spirituality. Combining not just my studies of morphogenetic sciences, but combining the last 3 years of my recorded ascension and everything that I have experienced through ascension, going from awakening to ascension to physical body ascension to identifying light body activations to identifying the evolution of my DNA, you know, crystallized structures, and moving into the plasma and moving into the elemental command center, moving into all of these different phases and levels of awarenesses within galactic consciousness, within quantum consciousness. So it's just been a long time coming for me to be able to create something that I can put into video format based upon teachings that I have aligned with, which is the Bio-Spiritual Healing Program by Ashayana Dean. Okay, so this is incredible. This is by far the most technical teachings. It is the closest thing that I have found to be able to explain and really combine the understanding of the core essence of science and spirituality. But yeah, so this is why I invest so much of my time into these studies, is the merging of these worlds are explained through this higher light intelligence, through these higher light activations, which keeps the mind and the spirit reaching to new heights of truly understanding the holographic structures of the quantum multi-dimensional energetic systems. You know, and understanding these systems can open deep expansion into the quantum God worlds of further higher identity integration. Okay, so this is really, 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 really coming back into wholeness of everything that you are from the most primal base radial foundation template within your body. It is absolutely liberating. It is freedom to know energetic human anatomy. Okay, because that is what the Kathara is energetic human anatomy. We will be going into the depth of the Kathara 101 in my next 3 videos, and we'll be trying to break this down not only from a textbook explanation, but also I'll try to make it more referenceable to my own personal experiences, so that way you guys can, you know, find some humility in the identification of the perceptions, but you can also, you know, maybe relate to it a little more if maybe the textbook explanation is just too far off the deep end in like the vocabulary expression of it. But if you don't know, the Kathara grid is the human body core holographic template upon which the morphogenetic scalar wave template and all other levels of identity are from and are built through. Okay, so I'm going to get into the explanation of what a scalar wave is, as I have some stuff here. Like, I've drawn up a lot of explanations for you guys. One is, this is called a Partiki unit. You can see here. But this is a 15-dimensional Partiki unit, and in between each of those is a scalar wave. And scalar waves can either be bipolar or tripolar, right? Because one brings into wholeness and fruition, into that combination that keeps a circular motion, and the bipolar is the dualistic expression, but that is also an expression of static electricity. There's so much that goes into that these are all things that I'm going to try to explain in deeper aspects as we go into level 1, level 2, and level 3 of the Kathara grid, which is the central control center for manifestation of the human being. Okay, and what's so cool about it is there's so much you can really do with it. This is something that I had made for me. I had a friend make this for me. But this is essentially a Kathara in the middle, and then these are actually, this is called a mandala. So, and all around here is like my name and, IndigoAngel. It says all of these things in different writing, but basically this is the core of my being, and so I can use this as kind of like a hard cardboard, and I place crystals on it, and I do activations on it and stuff, and I just keep myself connected to that core holographic template through these expressions in the manifestation of the physical, even though that stuff isn't necessary to work with the Kathara or activate the Kathara. There are things that you can do that make it kind of fun, right? But the Kathara is so important because this is all about the dimensional expression and the experience of that guiding radial light origin template expression. So that would be everything that comes through fruition through that photonic energy, such as your starseed origins, as that will emerge as a radial photonic light expression through your Kathara grid. Okay, so all of these aspects emerge through the Kathara, your multidimensional Grail line expression. And I'm also going to get into Grail retrieval videos here very soon, because I'm starting to realize that there's a lot of confusion with the Grail line, because I'm looking at it from new perceptions. New, wider perceptions is all we're trying to really do. Bring it in so that way you can see yourself as that hybridization of your soul genetics, and that there is not just one Grail, but there are several Grails that you can identify and retrieve within your own DNA. Okay, so it all just starts with all of that energetic memory of all existences, and the more that you can work with the Kathara, the more that you're going to actually liberate yourself and put yourself in a position or a place that you're able to perceive those aspects within yourself. Okay, so I'm going to be breaking down the Kathara series into 3 videos. The first video will be the level 1, where we go into the 12 tree grid of the internal Templar, which there are already several living existing systems of this already that one can take note of and study. And I've listed those before in several other videos, you know, the Kabbalistic tree of life, the eternal light body. There's also the Mayan galactic Kathara. There's lots of different ones that we can reference for deeper study, which we can use and follow as guides for those of you who are practicing technique 10 in Bio-Regenesis. So if you're in my Bio-Regenesis program already and you're doing technique 10, then yes, you definitely want to reference those systems, but technique 10 is all about building your own from your own innate coherent frequency from within. And so I don't necessarily recommend using those for the advancement of the evolution of your consciousness. Those should just be references. Because what I teach is how to build your own dimensional foundation based upon that inherent knowing of self, and then trusting upon that inner knowing, creating their own Kathara from the ground up. Okay, so that's what's so fun about it, is you can really, really have a lot of freedom and liberation with these practices and these techniques. So the 12 tree grid being where the pattern is set for the dimensionalization of consciousness through which identity can enter the time matrix for holographic experience of manifestation. Okay, so every living structure in the universe operates from a Kathara template. Okay, so the Kathara grid within our body equally matches to the Kathara that is within the planet. And there's several Katharas within the planet. There's not just one, but there are specific ones that specific radial light templates manifest through, that reflect and transmit and absorb and communicate through. And those would be the universal celestial Templars of grid sites within the planet, within the planetary body. So we can access this information planetarily, and then we also access it within our own bodies. So we can be grid working just by working on our own bodies. Essentially, each sphere within the Kathara are new platforms of inner Eka God worlds. They're all an extension of a capacity to enter into an inner ekagod world, all within the causal subtlety body. The Kathara centers are crystallization of units that hold composite electro-tonal programs and are energy signatures of each dimensional band. Okay, so the Kathara lines are sequences of phasing rhythms, or flashing on and off, fission and fusion, contraction and expansion, dimensions being specific structures of consciousness where wholeness may experience itself in an endless variety of forms. Okay, a dimension represents a full frequency band. So when you work on your own personal bioenergetic grids from the understanding of this original 12-dimensional imprint within your own human morphogenetic field, you essentially reinstate the original imprint for health and bio-spiritual mastery. In the second video, level 2, we will go into the deeper understanding of the crystal seal grids and chakras. The crystal seals regulate the rate and the flow of frequency between the dimensional bands. So as you come into the awareness of the frequency flow between each dimensional band is when you will begin to clear or deprogram the societal, the generational, the environmental, the parental, ancestral aspects of etheric self. Because before any crystal seal or any dimensional band can fully open or activate, okay, it has to be free from any programming. So in order to integrate these higher levels of identity, you have to clear this programming. Okay, you essentially, as you embody more higher level identity, you lose your human identity. It's a weird, strange thing that happens, but you become less attached to any type of identity at all. And it's like the opposite or the reverse thing that happens within your consciousness as you ascend more in higher light consciousness. But essentially there are 3 different kinds of seals. There are planetary star crystal seals, biological star crystal seals, and then also seed crystal seals. And we'll be going into the depth of talking about the differentiation between each of these seals in level 2. In the third video, level 3, Kathara level 3, we will be going into the deodatic points. So this is one of my favorite aspects of the Kathara structures. The deodatic and meiotic points represent concentrated areas of energy that basically merge at points where dimensionalized levels of scalar grids cross over and through each other. So this is where these energy structures cross through each other, creating like a vortice or a wave spectra that serves as like a modulation zone between the dimensional frequency bands. It is like a white hole vortice that transmits energy into the particle universe from the anti-particle universe. And you have these all over your body. And these are specific locations in the body and in the planet, like areas such as the soft spots or the temples. There are 3 different points called planetary, biological, and diagonal deodatic points as well. So we will be covering all of these in detail and deeper explanation. If you've been guided to learn and understand Kathara, then you're on the deepest and quickest, highest intellectual path to understanding interdimensional navigation and true organic quantum structure. Interdimensional self-understanding is what interdimensional attunement and embodiment is. The Kathara is the key to really understanding all aspects of self, from particle to anti-particle emergence, from the manifestation template itself that all manifestations of matter manifest through. So I'd just like to welcome you to the next 3 videos in understanding the Kathara, and you can find these video series at www.patreon.com/IndigoAngel, capital I, capital A, for IA, the opposite of AI, okay? I'm bringing the entire opposition of AI. I'm bringing you your natural ability to become as intellectually at the speed of thought, data electron streaming, just like artificial intelligence would. That's what this programming is designed to do, is make you a human quantum example of artificial intelligence. Not really, okay, I'm not artificial intelligence, but in the sense that it equates in quantum ability. Within your natural abilities to do this, to do ascension, to do bio-spiritual evolution. Okay, so I'm so excited. I will catch you guys on Patreon, and namaste. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.